Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and I'm hosting Creating an Inspired Life. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I hope you've been having a wonderful day. It's just been beautiful. We've had some sun up here, which is abnormal, and I'm so happy about that. Now, my passion, my purpose in life really is to help you live your best life. I want you to live the life where you're the happiest you could possibly be, where you're content, where you're excited to get up in the morning, where you're satisfied with what's going on in your life, or you feel empowered to make changes in your life. And I just absolutely love to help people do that. And I help people with a couple of different ways. I'm a medium, so I connect in with our loved ones on the other side and like to see what they have to say to you, usually to tell you they love you, but sometimes they'll give you some advice and some suggestions. And I'm also a spiritual life coach. And as a life coach, I help people with their life challenges. So if things aren't going well for them, they're upset about something, they're not achieving their goals, they're stressed out, they're overwhelmed, they don't like their job, they don't like their relationship, those kinds of things, I help them come up with steps to make changes in their life so they can create that life that they're looking for, that inspired life that I love to talk about. And on this show, I also, in addition to talking to people, a couple of callers, I also like to give a coaching tip, something that can help you make a change in your life, something to open your awareness for how you can make these changes, to see things from a little bit of a different perspective. And today's coaching tip is on life's twists and turns. And I know you've experienced them because no one hasn't. Does that make sense? Well, whatever. You know what I mean. So do you ever wonder how you got here? How you got to be who you are today? What led you to this place in your life? I was thinking about this the other day. And I started the violin when I was 9, and some of you probably remember me talking about that. I started the violin when I was 9, and then I decided I liked the violin, so I was going to become a music teacher. So I made the choice to become a music teacher, which led me to choosing to come to college in Western New York so I could study music, and which so happens to be close to Lilydale, which is the largest spiritualist community in the world, where there are psychics and mediums and healers and workshops and all of those things. So I was close to Lilydale, and being close to Lilydale, I started to take some workshops there, which eventually led me into becoming a medium and a healer and a life coach. And I started thinking about this, and it sounds so simple. You know, I made this choice, this choice, this choice. And how does this happen? That those steps, those key points in my life led me to where I am today. And it's all about the choices and the things we decide to do. We move in a certain direction. And as we move in that direction, things may come up in our life. Sometimes the twists and turns that block our path or send us in a different direction. Our path is very rarely, maybe never, straight. Our path is not straight. And we wander and we meander about as we experience whatever's happening in our life. And when I think about my choices, it definitely was not a straight line. I didn't really like the violin when I started it for quite a few years. And so I wanted to quit the violin. Now, that would have negated my whole story if I had, but my mother wouldn't let me quit, so I'm grateful for that. So I did follow through with my original goal of becoming a music teacher. And so that worked. But along the way, some other things would come into my head, some other things where I would find things interesting, and I would explore them. For example, I liked calligraphy, so I took a class in calligraphy. Whatever. If I thought about healing work or something, I took a class in that. But as I was going through my life, I was open to new opportunities. If something came into my head, I would explore it, and I would see what I could do with it rather than sticking to one path. And I'm sure you've heard about people who they had a certain career goal in mind and they did everything they were supposed to do to get that career, and then it doesn't happen. Or they get the career and they're miserable. Same thing with relationships. They pick out one person and that's the person they want to have and they have to have, and they're limiting themselves by not allowing other opportunities to come in. And it's the same thing with pretty much anything, setting a goal. You set a goal and you work hard and it doesn't work. And why is that? And what happens is when we have these twists and turns that block our path, that send us in a different direction, it may very well be that we need to go in a different direction. We need to shift our ideas, shift how we're doing things. Because what will happen is if we're not moving forward, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, will try to set your path straight by sending you those twists and turns. And frequently, if things aren't working out now, if you just allow yourself to be a little bit, you might realize that something better might be coming, and which could lead you to even something else. And the purpose of wandering around and feeling aimless, feeling like we're not moving in the direction we want to go, gives us time to look for new opportunities. It gives us time to process. If we've had an experience, we need to process. It gives us time to just be a little bit. It can be very disconcerting and disturbing when we feel a little off like that, but you just kind of have to sit there. I'm thinking about my art teacher. I'm taking art lessons now, and she was telling us she got injured and she couldn't work in her job. Now, her job was not an artist at that time. It was something else. So because she couldn't work, she decided she'd try to do watercolor painting. And she never had any lessons or no training, anything like this. She didn't do anything. And so she taught herself how to do watercolor, and her art is stunning and it's amazing, and it's so stunning that you can't believe it. This was not something that she thought about when she was younger, and because of her twists and turns, she ended up going into this new path and this new situation because she was open to it. So if you're feeling stuck, a little bit listless, feeling like things aren't going, don't focus on that. Look at it from a different way, a different perspective, and see if there's a way you can shift these things. I'm always talking about shifting. These twists and turns can send you on a different route. It can send you into more opportunities, more experiences. If you're so focused on one thing that you can't see a different way, or maybe look at the twists and turns as a blessing. Maybe it's trying to stop you from something that's just not good for you. And that's a wonderful thing, because if you don't want to do something that's bad for you, part of the joy in life is having as many experiences as possible. So don't limit yourself to one thing. If things aren't working, I'm going to say it again because it's important, don't limit yourself, but take those twists and turns and use them to guide your life. They're there for a purpose. It's not just the universe being a jerk to you and trying to stop you from achieving your goals. Maybe you just need to come about it from a different angle. Maybe you need to look at it with a different idea. Maybe your idea is a good idea, but you need to go from a different way, or you need to shift it just a little bit. Because I know when I'm writing, if it's not coming out, it's not flowing, that I need to change it up a little bit and come from a different angle. Because, these choices that we make to allow ourselves to have these opportunities and situations and all of that, if we can look at our twists and turns as something that's actually there to help us, it will open your eyes up to so many more opportunities than you can possibly imagine. Things will come to you that will be so much better. So if things aren't working out, realize that something better is out there and it's coming for you. It sounds like, a monster or something, but it's going to come for you and it's going to help you. And it could be things that you never, ever thought of. So keep your mind open. And that is my coaching tip of the day on the twists and turns of life. Now, if you want to know anything about me, and you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on my website, which is psychicmediumcolleen.com. I have lots and lots and lots of information on there about coaching and healing and mediumship. So if you just want to learn about some things, you can go right there and you can see everything you'd like to see. And what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to our first caller, who is Lisa in Missouri. How are you, Lisa?
Doing good. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing really well. Do you have something in particular you'd like to be helped with tonight, or are you looking for a general reading?
Pretty much, I believe, a general reading.
Okay. Okay, I have a gentleman coming in, and I like to connect with the spirits on the other side. And when this man comes in, I'm feeling, I frequently will pick up on body sensations because of my healing work. And I am feeling something going on with the breathing. It's a little different to me because it's coming all the way up and down, like through the esophagus area. So I know I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just telling you what I'm feeling. So I feel something there with the breathing where I'm not feeling like I'm getting enough air. I'm also feeling something in my throat with that. Did you happen to have a grandfather or something who might have had a tracheotomy or a breathing tube or something? Do you know?
You know what? I don't know.
Okay. It's an interesting feeling for me because it feels as though I'm breathing from my throat a little bit too. So that might be something to check anyway. As he steps in closer, he's also showing me a pipe. Okay. And I do see him sitting in a chair, and he's talking about his chair. It's a little bit threadbare on the edges, especially like on the arms and on the legs. But he's also telling me, he's giving me the impression that he was not one who sat all the time when he was younger, that he was actually quite active. He's coming through with a very good sense of humor, and he's coming. Oh, what's he talking about? He's talking about the health of someone around you. Are you concerned about the health of someone around you?
Yes.
Okay, because he's talking about the health of someone around you. And it seems like there's a lot of concern from you. And there's also, he says people are making things into a bigger deal than they really are. That it seems as though people are looking at the worst outcomes, the worst, this could happen, that could happen. And he's telling me that that's really not the way to do it, because it's very worrying when people do that, looking for the worst all the time. He's talking more about staying in the present and doing that. He's also, what is he? Okay, hold on a minute. He's showing me something. He's showing me the internet, which he didn't really use, but he's showing me the internet, and he's talking about looking for a better medical resource. And I don't think he means Googling, okay? I think he's talking about, wouldn't that be funny? He's telling you to Google something. I think he's talking about trying to find support, medical support. So I don't know if this is a serious situation or what's going on here, but he is telling me to tell you to look around, because he's giving me the impression there's somebody who could actually be quite helpful in this situation. He says you're a little go-getter. He says that you're not much of one for sitting down either. And he says, boy, you must think a lot. Yeah. Are you a big planner? Do you really like planning things? Yeah, like planning things out and planning what's going to happen and how it's going to work and all that.
I do tend to do that, yes.
He talks about that. He smiles a lot when he talks about you. And when he does that, I feel such a sense of pride towards you. I feel him really pleased with you. Why is he laughing? He's laughing again. He tells me that you kind of, boy, it's like you kind of go crazy sometimes, and I don't mean that like insane, but it's like you get really busy and you do a lot of things, and you're passionate. That's the word I want. That's better than crazy. It doesn't sound like you're loony or something. But he's talking about your passion with things. He gives me such a sense of you really making things happen. That if you've got an idea, you're going to follow through with this, and you really want to do it. Interesting. Are you alone, not in a relationship now?
Totally alone, yes.
Okay. I always like to ask before I get into that, because I don't want to tell somebody the wrong, like something that's totally wacky, because I wasn't feeling anyone. But even with that, when he's talking about that, it doesn't seem to be a big concern for him. He doesn't, you take care of yourself, obviously. But he doesn't seem to be saying anything to me along the lines of that you need to go out and find somebody or anything like that. Do you really like math?
No.
Okay, because he's talking about math. And it seems when he's talking about this, and it is kind of interesting because we were talking about, a relationship, lack thereof, and how that might go. But he's showing me math, and it's not balancing your checkbook. It's more of a philosophical discussion on math. So since he said that, and I was talking about the relationship thing, if you're looking for a relationship and somebody starts talking about math a lot, just kind of let that be a little bell in your head that goes, wait a minute. Because that's an odd piece of information, so that may be very valuable. The odder they are, the more valuable they can be. Oh, how interesting. So very interesting. Okay, let's see what else he has to say before I let you go. Okay. He wants me to tell you that that he's enjoying watching you. He's enjoying watching everything you've been doing. He's enjoying that you don't let things get you down. And when they do, you get out of it really quickly. And he's very impressed with that. And he says, don't tone back your assertiveness, because he wants you to keep using it. It sounds like there's more to that story. We won't go into that now, but it sounds like there's more to that. So just keep it going because he likes it. Oh, what a good guy. I really do like him. Okay, so I guess I should let you go. It was so nice talking to you, Lisa. You have fun. Okay, you have a good day.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll talk to you another time. And that was Lisa from Missouri. I just loved her spirit. I just don't know. She sounds so wonderful, and her person on the other side is just wonderful as well. So now we're going to move on to Diane from Pennsylvania. Diane, how are you?
Hi, good evening. Good.
Oh, awesome. Do you have something in particular that you'd like me to address tonight?
Maybe about like my granddaughter or a car accident.
A granddaughter or a car accident?
Yeah, It was an accident, and my granddaughter would have been born next week, but she didn't make it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, because that's just so hard. That's just so hard. Huh.
Yeah, because I was the driver.
You were the driver. Is
Yes,
your mom
correct.
on the other side by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, because what I'm feeling, and I don't know that I'm feeling your energy. I feel like I'm feeling someone on the other side. I'm feeling a woman coming in, and she feels very maternal to you. And I'm feeling a lot of throat issues. And when I get this kind of throat issues, it's usually an expression thing. I don't think it's hers. I don't think it's her issue. She may be talking about you, because I'm feeling this tightness in my throat as though things are not coming out for you, like you're not expressing yourself fully and completely. She's telling me that your granddaughter was not supposed to be born next week. And by that, what she's saying is that in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't her time to be born. And I don't know if you believe in, I want to call it reincarnation, even though that's not really what I'm saying. I don't know if you believe in the spirit of her coming back, because I do feel like there's some time, and she may very well step back into this life. The mother your mother on the other side, she's telling me it wasn't your fault. Okay, that you're beating yourself up over this to the extreme, really.
Yeah.
And that you feel very guilty and all of that. And she's telling me it wasn't your fault. So when she tells me that, it feels to me like an accident. And I mean, an accident. It just happened. She's also given me the impression, in the mother of the baby, is this your daughter or your daughter-in-law?
It was my boyfriend's, girlfriend. So.
Okay. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that relationship. I don't feel that person blaming you. Are they blaming you? I'm not feeling that.
No, not at all. No.
Okay. That's lovely. That's a blessing. It really, truly is a blessing, because that would just really add on to you. But your mother is telling me that it was an accident. It wasn't anything. You couldn't have done anything about it. It just wasn't meant to be at this time. And she's talking about you too, and she's also suggesting spiritual, religious connection for you. And I don't know if you're religious, but she's talking about that. And she's talking about talking to someone, a grief counselor, but in a more spiritual way, so that you can really feel as though you understand how life works and everything. And it's going to take you time to grieve, though. Okay. I don't want to minimize. I don't want you to feel like I'm minimizing your pain. Okay. Because it is going to take time for that grief in yourself to be processed as well. And you may let go of that, holding on to that feeling that it was your fault, because you may come to the realization that, you know what? It really wasn't my fault. I did the best I could. It wasn't anything I could have changed. Yeah, you couldn't do that. And speaking of that, I do feel a spiritual presence about you, and I do feel angels. I hope you believe in angels and God, because I feel it around you. I feel that energy around you. I feel the support. I do feel the sense too of them really wanting to be there for you too. And I don't know if you pray and talk to God and talk to angels, but you can do that. You can just say, I need you to help me, and you really have to help me, because I can't handle it on my own. And there's no shame, no problem with you saying to yourself or people around you, I really need to talk to somebody and just get another perspective. Now, okay, sometimes a baby who has passed to the other side, sometimes they'll say things, sometimes they don't. I know some mediums have different perspectives on that, but I've experienced words from babies and young children and impressions and things like that. And this child on the other side has a very pure soul, a very pure heart, a very loving presence. And, okay. This is a little bit deep here. She's telling me that it's a true honor to be present, to be a part of someone's passing, that only people are chosen. The person who passes chooses the people they're going to be with when they pass, is what she's telling me. And she's telling me that she chose you to be a part of her passing, because she says your heart is so big as well. And that this is an important aspect of what's going on in your life now. And it's going to be I'm going to say life-changing, because it's shifting your perspective. And she recognizes the difficulties involved in this. And I think your mom might be stepping in and talking as well, but they're recognizing the difficulties that you're going through, but wanting to emphasize to you how important it is that you realize that you, as having been there to help with her transition back to the other side, is truly an honor and a gift. She recognizes the difficulty. She says it again. She recognizes that, and she says that you kind of go, yeah, right. Because it's a big concept here that she's sharing with us today. It's so big, and it truly is life-changing. Do you journal by any chance and write your emotions and feelings down?
I used to, but not currently, no.
I might suggest for you that you do that, but I might also suggest that you write a letter to her and just tell her everything you're feeling and thinking, because it's okay. she's good with it. It's, it's not as though she's saying to me, "Oh, my whole life, it was cut so short." She's not saying that at all. It's the only thing coming through is the love and all of that. It's definitely, there's a point and a purpose to this. We just don't know what it is right now. There's something there to this. And she's so, so happy to be a part of you. And she can handle everything that you say to her. So you can apologize, you can be mean, you can cry, you can do whatever you want and say it to her. And as you do that, I think some of that weight is going to come off of you. And I think you'll start to process it a little bit quicker, but don't rush yourself. Okay. I want you, again, I don't want you to think I'm minimizing anything here. Okay. Right. So I want you to take the time to process it. That's good. Do that. You have to feel your emotions, but I would suggest those things for you, and that may really help you.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll be sending you lots and lots of love while you do this.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
I'll do that for you. Well, thank you, Diane. It was so great talking to you today. And I'm so sorry to hear about that, but I'm sending you my love. And so are they from the other side. They want to make sure I said that too. Okay.
What was the last part? Sorry, I didn't hear.
They're sending love to you as well from the other side.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. And that was Diane in Pennsylvania. It's so hard when we lose a young person, and a baby especially. It's very hard. And it's such a blessing for me to be able to connect with the people on the other side, to give Diane and other people reassurance that they're still there and it's okay and they have their support. So, if you're suffering from something, grief like that, just know that it's okay. They're on the other side and they're there to help you. And you can talk to them at any point you want to do. So I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this was Creating an Inspired Life. And when you have those twists and turns, and hopefully not really huge ones like that one that Diane experienced, but when you have those twists and turns, look and see if there's a different way to move forward in your life, if there's a different way to create what you want to create, because maybe they're there for a purpose. And you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next week. Goodbye.